friends, I want to say, Hadran Alach, 5-minute podcast. Hadran Alach, 5-minute Daf podcast. First of all, I have a little chills here. Whenever you do a project that's 7.5 years, first and foremost, you have to say thank you to Hashem for giving us, come on in, Lisa. You have to say thank you to Hashem for giving us the strength, the physical strength and the spiritual strength to be able to accomplish a project of 7.5 years. All thanks is due to Hashem. All thanks is due to Hashem. After we thank Hashem, we thank our family. I thank my wife, thank my children, thank my friends, thank those who listened. I want to say a few things about this project, and then I want to hear Shlomo and Zachary lead us spiritually. First thing I'd like to say, thank you to Ezra Cohen, because 7.5 years ago when I started this podcast, we were at the Neurology Center dinner, and he said to me that he was listening, and I said, you gave me a lot of strength. And every time I saw him after that, he said he continued to listen. I didn't think people would listen when I started doing it. I was really doing it first and foremost so that my children would hear it. That when I left this world, I'd be leaving a spiritual gift to my descendants. But thank God, Ezra listened, and we had over 1.4 million downloads in 7.5 years. And that told me that people do not want to listen to a 30-minute. They want to listen to 5 minutes. But now, what am I going to do now? First of all, I'm still going to post those every day, but I'm also now posting a 1-minute daf on YouTube. And if that's too long for you, you can do it on 2x. Listen in 30 seconds. But it's a little different. The 1-minute daf, we're trying to bring out a spiritual message. One yesod from the daf. But here's the message that I have for everybody here. It's a very, very... I'm going to share this message, and then I'm going to share a story about what this did to me. Message is, I like if I could instill upon everybody one message, it is that everybody here should take upon themselves a long-term spiritual project. So much of what we do in our life is short-term. Are you going to be at the minyan in the morning? Are you going to study, go to this class? Or, when I was Shia's age, I gotten some money from my bar mitzvah, and I went to some guy in a bank, and I said to him, what should I do with the money? And he pulled out a chart, and he said, look at this chart. And he made a big arrow going up. He said, that's the stock market. If you invest $100 now hey, come on in. He said, if you invest $100 now, he said, in 50 years, that's going to be worth $100,000, something like that. Now, if that's true with respect to money, how much more so is it true with respect to our spirituality? We can't just think short-term spiritually. We have to think in the long-term spiritually. We have to make the investments long-term spiritually. So everybody should start thinking to ourselves, what can I do that if I put it in the bank now and every day, then in 10 years, where will it be? In 7.5 years, where will it be? In 15 years, where will it be? Just like with money, it will grow exponentially. It's the same exact thing, if not more so, when it comes to our own spirituality. Absolutely, with all my heart, I believe that. So everybody here should take upon a project. Maybe it's going to be, I'm going to learn every chapter of the Bible. Maybe I'm going to read every chapter of Rambam. Maybe it's going to be, I'm going to do the Daf Yomi. Whatever it is, if we accept upon ourselves a long-term spiritual project, I promise you, it will enhance your life, enrich your life so much more than an extra $100,000 in the stock market, although that wouldn't be bad. But this is the story I want to tell you about what the Daf Yomi meant for me. I want to tell you this story. Now, tonight, technically speaking, is not the actual Yortzeit of Rabbi Elimelech. Rabbi Elimelech's Yortzeit is tomorrow night. But thanks to my cousin Jorian, Zusha is available tonight. So it's a big yesod within the Yortzeit. It's the whole week of the Yortzeit is what we commemorate. So we're gathering tonight to remember the impact of Elimelech, We have his portrait there. Has had upon me personally. Has had upon our world. The hashpah he's had upon our community and our family, and all of us. So the story is told about Rabbi Elimelech that there was once a guy who came to visit him for Shabbos, and the guy came on Friday. He came to see Rabbi Elimelech. Rabbi Elimelech didn't want to see him. He said no. This guy wasn't ready. Rabbi Elimelech wasn't into him. He was a nunnik. I don't know. Rabbi Elimelech had his reasons. Came back Friday night after shul, wanted to see Rabbi Elimelech. Rabbi Elimelech said no. Shabbos morning, tried to see Rabbi Elimelech. Rabbi Elimelech said no. Shabbos afternoon, Rabbi Elimelech didn't even want to see him. Guy realizes, comes after Shabbos, the guy realizes, he started looking, he looked inside himself. He says, I know why Rabbi Elimelech doesn't want to see me. He said, I know who I am. There's only so much we can fool ourselves. He says, there's only so much comes to Havdalah. The man starts crying and crying to himself. He starts crying, and he starts crying. And then he goes to Rabbi Elimelech. All of a sudden, Rabbi Elimelech sees him. He says, so the Chavra said to Rabbi Elimelech, we don't understand. Yesterday you didn't see him. This morning you didn't see him. This afternoon you didn't see him. How come you're seeing him now? Rabbi Elimelech said, he's not the same person. He's a totally different person. And I'm telling you, having done this Daf Yomi, it has changed my life, changed my values, changed everything, changed my perspective. I bless you that the first time I started doing the Daf Yomi, every page was hard. And it's still hard. And every page I would look at it, sometimes I didn't even know what I was doing. Sometimes I would say, I have no idea what I just read. But if we do it every single day, it'll penetrate us, go deeper and deeper. It will change our lives. Only for good. Only for good. Everything we do will make us a better person, sometimes this is the last message I want to say. That Samson, sit right there, Samson. Right there is a say that, sometimes we don't have time. How do we make the time? When I started this, our youngest son was under 4. The more we put into our spiritual lives, the better fathers, the better mothers, the better husbands, the better wives we will be. We will be better human beings. All of us will be better the more we put into our spiritual lives. The more time we spend on it, the more time we will have for our families. The more time we will have for our jobs. The less we will feel depleted. The more energy we will get. That is my promise to you. I promise you, if you put more time into your Torah study, into your davening, into your learning, I promise you, you will have more time in life for the things that you value. So I want to thank everybody here for your chizuk, for your strength, and anybody have a rebuttal at this point?